Welcome to Mehetabel Counseling Services YouTube channel. My name is Faith Gushu, a counseling psychologist. Today we will talk about loss and loss of a family member, loss of a loved one. When we lose our loved one, it may be a dad or a mother in the family. We all go through the process of loss differently. We all go through the loss differently, depending on the relationship we had with the person who has died. So you might have lost a dad, and sometimes it takes you long to go over the death, the loss of your dad. We may not understand the reason why it has taken you longer, and it could be because not only did you lose a dad, but you lost a mentor, you lost a significant person, you lost an advisor, you lost a provider, you lost a go-to person, you lost an encourager. You may also lose a mom, and here we can maybe be a family of 4 people or 4 children, and we mourn the death of a mother or a father differently. This, I say it depends on the relationship you had with the person who has died. So in a mother, you lose a nurturer, you lose a go-to person also. You lose someone who was there to motivate you. You lose someone who would call anytime. And when you go home, the place is no longer the same. If you've lost your dad or if you lost your mom, there's a lot of emptiness. So sometimes it may take so long to go through the loss of our loved one, depending on what that person meant to our lives. So you can also lose a child, and this child, you have lost them at the prime age. You have lost them at an early age. Remember this person, this child, you had hopes for this child. You had expectations for that child. And when you lose them, you lose the expectations, you lose the hope of ever the child attaining their objectives. When we go to condole them, it is important to know where they are coming from. Sometimes we go there and give a lot of information, a lot of encouragement, but we don't know or understand where this person is at. So when we go to condole them, let them speak, let them vent out, let them pour out. They need to because talking is therapeutic. They could be angry with God. They could be angry with relatives. They could be angry with the parent who has been left. They could be angry with the hospital attendants. So it is important to let them speak, so that it is through speaking that we heal. Now, when this person dies in that family, there's one thing maybe we are not taught: how to condole the family immediately after the burial. If there is a place we need to be sensitive, when a person dies in a family, everyone is there to help, to mourn with you, and even they come close home. And you have many family members who stick with you until the burial date. The family does not experience the magnitude of the death of the family member until after the burial day. What happens after the burial day? Everyone goes back to their places of work, goes back to their homes, and the family member, the nuclear family member, is left alone to take care of self. Sometimes we leave them without lunch. Sometimes we leave them without finances. Sometimes we leave them without anything to feed on. And this is the time that family needs us the most. I hope we will develop a criteria, or we will develop a habit of visiting those people or staying with them after the death of a loved one, at least for a day or 2. Or the visiting after the death of a loved one become consistent until after some times. What happens? When you leave them, this is the time they experience the loneliness, they experience the loss. They are not able to understand what happened, and there were so many people, and now there's no one to console them. I know we are all meant to go back to our businesses. However, If you are a close family member, for example, an aunt, an uncle, it is good to check on those children. It is good to check on that family member just to know where they are at in their grief process. Let us extend some grace. So, one, it is important to acknowledge that person is not coming back. It is also important to understand, when you're processing, it's good to appreciate what that person did for us. So, and how do we do that? Because sometimes we are not in our culture, we are not meant to talk about a dead person. But it is important to look at it from an aspect of this person is gone, but what is it that they instilled in us? What is it that they taught us? What is it we are proud of? What is it that they did in our lives and you are very proud of? So it's good to mention that so that you can be able to heal from the loss. Because the person has physically died, it is okay to visit the grave. However, be careful not to dwell there. Because we grow through losses. And how do you grow through losses? When someone has died, there's a part of us that is gone with them. There's a part of us that will never be the same. So if it is someone who was providing, there will be no provision. So if it's someone who was mentoring us, there will be no mentor. If it's someone who was an encourager, we may not get someone to encourage us the way they used to do it. So those are some of the things we need to grow through. Growing through something, it means you learn the lessons, you embrace the lessons, and move on. That is all for today. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.